He's on a delay.
That's right, we're all, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
All right, next, we'll move on to minutes. We have one set of minutes from December 14th, 2022. Does anyone have a motion or any proposed revisions,
I'll make a motion.
modifications?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, we're going to move on to number 4, old business, which would be item A, cease and desist at 626 Forest Road for illegal filling of a wetland or water course without a permit.
This is where we get a report from you.
Any information to add? I'm sorry.
I don't have any new information. I have had some conversations
Okay.
with the applicants, and I suggested to them that the best thing to do would be to slow the water down as it comes off the highway, and to come up with some sort of an engineered structure that's outside the 200-foot buffer that would slow the water down so that the field has a chance to recover, and it can be grassed over and planted, and hopefully the erosion will slow down by slowing it closer to the road. That was the conversation that we had.
Did you discuss, though, the fact that Phragmites and other
Steve,
plants
can I
along?
ask you a question?
Jerry, hang
hold
on.
1 second. Frank's speaking.
Sorry,
1 second
Frank's on
there.
if you can't hear him, yes.
So,
Oh,
so,
in here.
That's
so,
okay.
so did you discuss the fact that there was a path cut to the Farm River, and that a good portion of the property is within the 200-foot zone? Because there is disturbance very close to the Farm River, including where the channel is. There was a path cut right straight through to the Farm River.
Through the Phragmites.
Yes.
Yep, and that's not supposed to happen. Plus, if you look at the map that we went through, a good portion of his property, up almost to his house and his barn, is within the 200-foot zone.
And we were also told that we could stand on the side of the road to look at the water course that's going through the property. Because last time we were here, they said that there wasn't much that drains through from the road, and you can distinctly see a water snaking through. So it does drain from the road. After the last couple rainstorms, you could see a channel cut into the filled area.
And I think that's why I was suggesting if we can catch that water closer to the road, it's going to slow down the water course and not erode the field and not get into the river.
I don't know where you're going to capture it from where it's supposed to go down to the river.
No, just close to the road to slow it down.
To spread it more evenly over the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put some riprap in, and the fact is that it comes with velocity when it rains, and it creates this ravine and erosion factor. And, you know, he's filling it to try to alleviate that situation, but just throwing mud on top of the field is not going to fix it. You've got to do some sort of engineered structure
To mitigate
closer
it.
to the road to take care of the problem. In terms of the Phragmites, you know, they're not a great thing growing right next to the river anyway, so I'm not sure if there's a better
Well, I said
planting or a better
I said
solution.
Phragmites, I don't know if that's what they are, but still, there's not supposed to be any
Not supposed to
work
be any
done near
clearing.
the river. Nothing,
Nothing.
200 feet.
So would you want to see some sort of enhancement of what was changed?
Well, we had proposed, I think, back to have a sidewalk to get a closer look, because all we're going from is distant pictures, which, so, you know, that, we might, that's a lot of, historically, that's what we do in a case like this. We might look at it and just, you know, we might say, leave it undisturbed, or we might say, let's see, you know, if there's anything we can do to make it better. Just a question, so I see there's, under new business, there's an application, I guess, is it addressing what the applicant proposes to fix, like, its site plan, or propose depositing of,
Correct.
Does it address some things you were just talking about then?
Well, I'm not quite sure how much of a plan there actually is. I think the applicant can present.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought, I was hoping that maybe we could, yeah, get some discussion from, either from staff or from the applicant, so. At this point,
Well, excuse me.
Jerry actually had something
Yeah,
to
Jerry
say
has-
too.
Can I just say
Yeah.
something?
Sure.
The application was
Hold on
submitted
one
at the last meeting. This was on the agenda of the last meeting. They
Right.
did not propose any.
But we didn't talk about it, that's why
No.
we didn't, that's
No.
why I say it's all kind of new to me, I did read that, you're absolutely right, Frank.
But not with any new
No. We basically didn't entertain it at all. But
structure.
Jerry,
Jerry.
you wanted to say something, sir?
Well, first of all, who was just speaking?
That's,
It was a combination of, I think, David, myself, and Frank, and,
So I apologize, I think everybody else has met the new town planner, Jerry. This is,
Oh,
hi, Jerry. Dave Perkins.
hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome aboard. Okay, so is the applicant present?
Yes?
yes.
so
Okay.
we're still in the violation. I don't know if you want to, or how that works sequentially.
Well, before we do anything, I just wanted to, since we have the applicant here, and we have we can talk about the application that was submitted at the last meeting, let's just
Yeah,
hear everything
all right.
before we make a decision. I mean, it's up to you guys, but I think that we should hear,
Hey, Vic,
Yes.
Vic, I think for me, I can't hear anything that my fellow commissioners are saying at all, so I thought maybe I'll get on speakerphone with Frank.
Yes,
and-
go for it.
And I'll just mute the audio on this, okay?
Put that in between, all three of them, I guess, and maybe that'll work out.
It'll probably work better
All
than, because the only person I can really hear, Victor, is you.
That's perfect.
that he filters all our comments, Jerry, makes it simple.
Okay, let me just reach out to Frank.
I got you, I'm calling you.
There you go, great. Perfect, you there?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're here.
Can you hear us, Jerry?
Let me,
So yeah,
so I'm muted there. and
What do you want me to
let's
do?
go to-
no,
Put it on
don't mute
speaker,
your
probably.
end.
Excellent.
No,
Okay.
he's muting there. He's muting there.
Yeah,
Can you hear us, Jerry, now?
I can hear you fairly well right now.
Good,
Wait, should
okay.
I mute the speaker? Okay.
No, he needs to be on speaker so we can see, hear
Yeah,
him. And we can.
yeah, and I'm on speaker also. so
All right.
that'll work.
Yep,
'Cause we-
All right.
Very good.
Great.
So what I was going to say, Jerry, unless you had anything else to say, there is, item 5 is the application that was submitted by the
Right,
applicant.
But as far as the old business is concerned too, no, I'll wait till we get to the new business, because I was just going to suggest from everything that I've heard and from what I've seen, the question I did have though is, did you guys conduct a sidewalk at all?
No.
No, I actually mentioned that, you probably didn't hear me say that. Usually, I was just mentioning to David that that's usually what we try to do in cases like this, to get a better look of what is actually happening. So that was one of the things I was going to recommend, and whatever else any of the agency members recommended as a result of this
But
cease and desist.
yeah, but I also read in the minutes that Mr. Lloyd had actually said we did not have permission to go on the property if we wanted to view it from the road. That was fine, but he wouldn't allow us on the property at that time. Am I correct?
yes.
Yes. But usually we don't have a sidewalk until after there's an application. But from what I can see on this, from what the application briefly tells me, and I didn't see the application itself, but if it's, I mean, I don't think they should submit the application, because I don't think there's a chance in that it's gonna pass.
Well, did
To
you,
you follow what I'm saying?
the application was
After
submitted
the
at the
fact.
last meeting, Jerry.
And it was submitted after the
Yeah.
fact because it's already filled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't really discuss it actually at that time, because the meeting ended kind of abruptly, so.
Yeah.
We didn't really have a discussion with.
Why don't we let the gentleman speak?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking next. So what I'd like to do now, Jerry, is let the applicant, he wants to speak and address some of this. At least we'll understand a little more what he wants to do or what's actually inside the application.
Gotcha.
Got it, okay. So, sir, if you'd like to come up and, if you could just identify yourself for the record, and then feel free to.
Hi, Richard Vogt.
Okay.
Victor, did you share all the papers with these people? All the laws and everything?
I believe
Did you share?
that they have been,
Okay.
Shared
they
this
do
one.
have copies and.
You have copies of all the legal rights I have? You and you?
Well, I think the issue is we want to get to the application.
Okay, we'll start there then. All right, this is a definition of a water course. That is not a water course I built in. Okay, so you can read this. Have you read it already?
We talked
have
about it
that
last
already.
week,
Okay, it's
last
not a
time
water
we
course.
met. Remember, we disagree with you.
Yes.
Okay.
An
Well, you can
intermittent,
read it. It's not a water
we
course.
agree that even an intermittent channel that it doesn't have water flowing through all the time, as long as it takes drainage from another source, is
Well,
considered
this
a
is what
water.
it says on there for a water course. It's not a water course. At the end of the sentence, it says, if it's from a storm, it's not a water course. It says right here for the definition of water course.
Okay, but
Right.
we're
Okay, next.
within the 200-foot buffer of the river.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so the town has been identified with all my legal rights then.
Correct.
Right, you've shared all this stuff I wrote and they
And
read
did you
it.
share, excuse me, did you share the lawyer's opinion of his legal rights?
Well, that's what I was waiting for too,
The
before this meeting.
the lawyer's opinion was that the applicant can have whatever legal opinions he has and
Okay.
the board
Well,
can,
We're free to go ahead with our cease and desist or whatever else we.
Complete.
Gotcha.
Right.
yeah, so you're gonna lift my cease and desist today?
No.
You're not gonna?
no, I think what we'd like to do is we'd like to get to the application and find out how you're gonna take care of the situation by the river where the phragmites have been disturbed.
And
You and I had a conversation
the runoff.
about
Okay.
Really the whole process.
yeah,
Well, I'm
slowing.
gonna call legal suit against the town.
go right
You can
ahead.
do whatever you like. We were hoping you were explaining what is in your application, what you want to do. We're trying to work with you, so.
I'm trying to work with you people too, but I have legal rights. It's private property. I can fill that trench in all day long. I can cut down every tree on my property.
No, you can't, sir. You
Under state
can't.
law and our,
You
in the
can't.
regulations, you can't. I mean, you may think you
The
can, but.
Constitution of the United States overrides all these laws.
This
This
has
is a
nothing
federal
to
law.
do with the Constitution of the United States.
It does.
It doesn't.
Not.
I
Sir, you're
think-
misinformed.
Okay, then inform me that where it goes.
What I'm going to inform you is what I tried to explain last week, is that this commission is, we're regulated, we are authorized by the state of Connecticut to enforce, regulations that are approved by the state of Connecticut to oversee and protect our wetlands.
Yeah, I know.
And
Well, that's
by
why
means,
you
I didn't
people-
finish, and by means, and every town can do it a little differently, but in our town, we basically have a 100-foot buffer, which means anything within a 100-foot buffer of a defined wetland.
Oh, yeah, I know.
We regulate, it doesn't mean we deny everything,
No.
but in this town, because of the sacred water supply of the Farm River that actually is drinking water, we have adapted a 200-foot buffer along there.
I know, but
So, and
on your...
we have a right, whether you have a ditch in your property and, it's, you can call it a water course or not, but it does accept drainage from the road, even, in a part-time
Well,
basis.
basically, excuse me, the state is trespassing their water onto my property. The state is trespassing their water onto my...
Sir, you
No
bought the
easement.
property with that already there.
There's
You
no
didn't do
easement.
your due
The
diligence
state
for
would
it.
have an easement on my property if they could do so. The state does not have the easement there. Maybe Mary Straboli let the state run the water on there.
I mean, there's,
goes-
in this town, there's hundreds of families and places that have, including my property.
Right, you built Milltown Tavern in the middle of the river. You know why you could do that? Because it was their property.
No,
No.
he came through this
No.
board. He came through this board, and he also had,
Okay.
he had cease and desist put on him by the state of Connecticut and by this board, and he complied with all of those.
Okay.
Because he had to. You need to understand something. The laws, this law that we're talking about is driven by the federal government to the states. It's part of the inland, the waters of the United States. The state of Connecticut then has their own laws, which they took, and said, we allow the local jurisdictions to take care of. So you fall under the local jurisdictions. In addition to that, you're within the 200-foot buffer. Bulk of your property is within the 200-foot buffer. So that means literally anything you do on that property, you need to come to us to get approval to do it. And
I'm
it's,
arguing that point.
But
That's, I'm just.
but that's the law.
Yeah.
I know.
So we
And
want to
I'm gonna
help
show
you.
you the law.
I don't want to see anything. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Can I just say something? We want to work with you. We want to resolve this. Truthfully, none of this would have happened if you had come to us first,
But I don't
told
need
us
a
what you
permit
want to do.
to
But
fill
you
in.
do need a permit.
Still need a permit, it's a
You
regulated
do.
activity. Again, you can,
It was
you
the
can- you can
water
say
course,
we-
there's a Frank in my yard.
it's a regulated activity within the buffer.
Everything you do in your yard is virtually regulated,
Yeah.
sir, because it's within the 200-foot
And
buffer.
you bought the property that way, and
Well, I don't know,
you
you
should,
guys wanna
you
go
should
pay the
have,
taxes
you
on
should
it.
have known that you were in the 200-foot buffer. If not, then,
I know what it's up, but I'm gonna go for my legal
I'm
rights.
just saying, you shouldn't, I'm just saying, this shouldn't be a big shock to you about this. This is,
Oh, it's not.
And I even asked at the last meeting, did you discuss that at the closing of your house? Did you understand you were within the water course? And
Oh, I
you
know what I
said-
bought.
You said you did. So that
Yes, I
means
know
you
what I bought.
understood that you're within the buffer.
What we would like to hear is what you plan to
To
do
do.
to
We're
remediate
gonna plant
this.
grass.
Here, may I speak?
If you want, I'm not.
I would be very
could
happy.
you identify yourself for the
Hi,
record,
I'm
please?
Chrisanne Vogt, the other applicant. I would be very happy to work with a town engineer or with Dave to have an engineered system, like something like a dry well is what I was envisioning, with riprap in it or something to help the water from rushing through our yard. Yes, I understand that you guys own 200 feet from the center of the river, I believe.
We don't own-
it.
We don't
regulate
own
it.
it.
You
It's
have
different.
total right to
We regulate
tell
development.
everybody what to do
Just to be
on it.
clear, we regulate activity
You
within
regulate,
200 feet
yes,
of the
okay.
river.
So yeah, my son did mow. Everything is going to grow back because that's the nature of stuff. It grows back. I don't think I mean, I know that really seems to disturb you in particular, Ashley, that it was mowed to the river.
Well, the thing is, you can't,
Clearing near the
you can't
river
clear
can't be
it.
done.
But now it's a done deal. What would you like us to
Well,
plant
that's
there
what you're gonna come back and
instead?
That's
propose
what
to
you have
us.
to
That's
tell
what an
us.
application and a plan, we've told
Okay.
you what, how it violates our regulations, and again, like our agency member said, we want to work with you. But you need an engineered plan that will address that.
Okay,
If it doesn't
thank-
address it, we can't approve it. You mean,
I agree that
whether
the
you think it's good or
application we
not.
submitted was not up to par. Basically, it had no details on it whatsoever.
all it basically
I-
says, you
I-
filled it in. That's
I just
basically all it
admitted
told
that.
us.
I
I'm
just admitted
Just saying.
I would be, what I would propose is that we postpone this meeting until I have a chance to reapply an application. Would that be possible?
And we said we would accept that
Yeah.
completely.
Okay, great.
And that we would even put whatever money you put down onto that, so that you don't have to reapply. It's just a delay, an extension.
Boy, thank you for that.
There won't be
Thank
any-
you.
Well, the other thing, can I recommend, though,
Yes.
that you should talk to the state of Connecticut, because Route 22 is a state road,
Uh-huh.
so that you don't get the burden of the full cost. They should have some,
Right.
they should have some culpability in this, some help for you for this, because as your husband said, it is flowing on your property.
Yes.
You need to get involved with, I guess it's the highway,
That would be-
right?
Yes.
That would be the town engineer.
No.
No.
Yes.
It's the
Okay.
state of
It's
Connecticut.
state.
Let me
If
Victor
I,
guide you
if
on
I
that.
could, usually in situations like this, acting as town engineer, I don't mind meeting, with a property owner, on their behalf, with the representatives from the Connecticut DOT, but it would be something that I'd prefer
Oh,
the
absolutely.
property owner set
Let 'em
up.
water-
Right.
Let them run the water somewhere else.
And I can do that.
That's
And I'm
fine,
willing- and I'm
that I
willing
think is the
to
first
take
thing
care
we're
of
in
that.
agreement on, that they maybe can do some mitigation and not,
That's a wonderful idea, Mr. Pagano.
And
Thank you.
You're
that's
welcome.
not saying that they're gonna agree to do anything further than what they already have, but right now, it is just a concrete, I think it's a concrete head wall with a pipe that discharges
just shoots
to
it right out there.
to the field there.
You
And
can run it
I,
down the road to your property.
Mine's uphill.
So, Victor, I'd ask you, you
Well,
obviously
the
know the
town has
contacts
easement
in the
down the
state
road.
that maybe you could.
Right, a drain, the regional drainage,
Would be the first-
DOT person.
And that would
I
be
could
someone
give
you
that
could give them the contact, because that would be the place to start then, I think we all agree
The,
on
the
that.
problem might be is that I think the head wall, and when we look at the DOT state right-of-way map, I think the head wall does end up right at the limit of their right-of-way. So they may just automatically say, well, it's not our property to do anything, but it doesn't mean, they can't.
But it is
work with-
affecting the property.
But if
I
they
know
had an
it's-
It's
easement, they'd have
effects,
a- then they'd have a legal right, if they had an easement, which I saw on that,
Right.
an easement to run the water there, then I can't say nothing. But they do not have an easement onto my property. So they can't just let their water run on my property, the garbage, the salt, the oil, everything else that is going off the road.
And that should be your argument with the state,
And that's
because
a
you're
va-
right.
It's a valid argument.
So
You guys are arguing about the water. You guys,
Clearly, we need to research this further, okay?
okay.
Okay.
But you're the one with the problem with the water, not me. So your problem is with the state. I'm not creating the water.
Shall we readdress this, next month?
Next
Or
month.
how much time do we get?
We can table this to the
Yeah, we
next
can
meeting.
table it.
You know, we can't do it forever, but certainly we allow a certain amount of time. Definitely the next meeting, which is within our
So-
jurisdiction. To
Thank you.
maybe work with Victor and maybe,
Yeah.
because we do agree with what that part about, maybe hopefully the state having some culpability with this. Maybe they can suggest something, when they hear your problem from you. And Victor could obviously detail some of the things that are going on.
And I guess I have a question more along the lines of, is there any guidance that you could give them as far as, or if it doesn't work that way, that's fine, but is there any guidance you'd give them as far as what you'd be interested to see, from the 200-foot limit to the state right-of-way? There's that portion of the ditch/water course where, are we talking about just a reseed with what's there, do some temporary stabilization with a hay bale check dam so it has a chance to reseed in the spring, and then this engineered, I'm basically, when we say an engineered structure, either a dry well may not be the most appropriate thing, but I'm thinking of a plunge pool.
Right, which is common
at-
to mitigate the flow.
Right, to
Usually-
slow
yeah,
the
slow,
velocity, but I'd hate to have them come back with these ideas
It's gonna be like a
and say,
small
well,
retention pond.
Yeah,
Right,
you see those a lot of places where there's a lot of
Right,
flow.
right,
I
It
know
slows down
what-
the
I know what
flow.
to do.
Well, no, but I'm saying that might help your situation. Would sheet flow it out a little bit, would reduce the flow instead of shooting it
But I
right on your
wanna-
property.
I
And
guess
it would
I-
naturally
yeah.
be absorbed into the soil, which is,
I think that Victor can work on the roadside with the state highway, and I can work with the applicant on the wetlands side. And if we need
All
a
right.
conservation district or somebody else to come in and give us some ideas,
we appreciate that. It
we can
would
pull
get-
them in, but I think I can
good,
be on the left side, you can be on
good,
the
all
right
right,
side.
that's good.
So at this point, then, I think, hearing all that, we're making some progress. I think we need a motion to table this to the next
I
meeting.
make a
I got
motion.
one more thing.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that these two get the papers that I gave you with the legal rights, so they can read those tomorrow.
They have them.
They have them?
Yeah, we have.
Okay. Learn those rights.
And we also gave it to the town attorney, and he already sent back
Okay,
his
learn
opinion
the
on
rights.
it.
it's fine. I mean, we've got them.
Okay, the next time I come, I'm gonna come.
Well, if you're coming with an attorney, I suggest you talk to the town attorney, not to us.
So we'll table it,
Okay,
Christian.
thank you for your time.
No, you're welcome.
I make a motion to, well, first of all, are we going to table, we got an old business and a new business?
Basically table both of them.
Okay,
because
so-
They're joined. so-
Yes, I mean, we should join these together,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I make a motion to table item A under old business and item A under new business to the next meeting.
Do we have a
Second.
second? Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Both items, old business and new business for application 2022-19 is tabled next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll work
You're
on this in
welcome.
a timely fashion,
All right.
okay?
Okay,
And
thank
you'll
you.
have help, I'm sure, Victor and David will help you. Thank you. Okay, then we can move on to number 6, Wetland Enforcement Officer's Report. Again, we can just start with item A, violation at 2013 Forest Road.
213.
Did I say 413? I
You
had
said,
I had a
no, you
one,
said
you're right.
2,000.
2000.
So
Oh,
I
gosh.
think I need to come to get a little bit more history on what's going on.
Yeah.
I see the pond, it seems to be a drainage ditch more than a pond.
Well, no, they illegally brought a backhoe in and dug a trench. And that's what Victor,
But I think he's saying you're saying the history of the pond itself
Yeah.
seems to be, I don't know if it's
We can give a little history on it.
Yeah, we can
give you a little
history on it.
I'm going to say about 4 to 5 years ago, jump in, folks. You know, we had, a report of a violation there of a gentleman going into, his pond there and, doing things. So anyway, the bottom line is we had him come in front of us. We talked to him, he's not the most easiest person to get along with, but we made it clear to him that his thing is he wanted to clean up his pond. It was getting choked by weeds and fill and everything. And we actually gave him permission with an application to, help clean out a little bit, Apparently, yes.
Didn't it start with them cutting down trees?
Yes,
Yes.
I was getting to that, yep.
not on his property
Not his
either.
property.
It was on town property.
That was a good point, Jerry.
Oh, regional water
I was
authority,
going
yeah.
to mention that in conjunction with this, that he was cutting down trees on the water company property. So he was, so there was 2 issues going on here. I mean, our main issue, of course, was, the wetlands violations. So to fast forward in the beginning, he never did what we asked him to do. Even Jerry asked him to reroute he had a water flow. He's got an artesian well. It's kind of a unique property from the mountain. And, water actually took water, from that spring and filled his pond with. The only thing is, he did it right near the outlet, so the water never circulated through the pond.
Right, it went right in, right out.
What we recommended, Jerry did, and it was a great idea, is just reroute that pipe. You have it there, put it to the front of the pond, and it would actually create a nice, fresh, mixing of the water there. But he never did that, and then now we're down.
And then he cleared
Right,
all
cleared.
of the material around the pond.
He put some stones.
And then he dumped a bunch of junk over the bank where it used to drain to cross under the road. And so we had a problem with that because he wouldn't clear the junk out. And now he took a backhoe and illegally trenched that whole area directly down to the drain area. And now he's removing trees all along his other edge of his
And
property.
he's trenching on the other side of his property,
Yep,
near his neighbor's house.
yep. So it's probably within a violation of their property.
And he, in the past, he hasn't been very good at getting back to you, right, Victor? So
It's
that's
just-
why.
Yeah, it's hard to communicate with him.
Right, so that's why we
To get
kind of
it
had
to
it
return the
permanently
ball.
put on this part of the
And
agenda.
basically, we want to know what's going on.
And what he's gonna do, and right, and
What are you doing?
what his
You need-
plans are.
And to stop
And-
doing anything
right.
else.
And if he needs, he should really come in front of us and just tell us what he's doing, and if it's something we can approve, we'd be glad to. We already did actually approve something, he just never followed through with it, so.
Well, he may need a new application
Right, well, it's
too.
been almost 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So it probably is, right, because if he didn't do the work in that time, unless he asked for extension, which he never did, to my knowledge, he probably should come in again.
Okay.
Again.
I will get working on that.
That's fine, Dave, just to be warned, he's not the friendliest fellow,
Those are
that's
my
all I
kind
can
of
say. I just want, it's okay, we don't want to blindside you, so, all right. So I guess at this point, we'll move on to item B, which is removal of culverts at 127 Forest Road, 363 Tucket Road. Again, another historical thing that we've put on there. It was from an application a couple of years ago that we had approved, and there were some old culverts in the Farm River that were collapsing, and ATVs were driving across.
They
them,
were
and doing all
used to
kinds of
cross the
damage.
river
Yeah.
from one side by Tucket to 22. So they crossed
And
over
when we
on
asked
these
the
culverts.
applicant, we were very disturbed to see, the travel, that they were dumping fill over there. There's a lot of things going on, and we asked, why does these need to be here? And they said, well, once the development was approved, there was no need to. So we said, all right, as part of the approval of that site plan for that development, these need to be removed. And they said, well, we don't want to, at the time, we want to do it in a period of low water flow. We said, okay, that's fine. But here we are 3 years later, there's been 3 summers of low water flow, and they're not removed. So we wanted to add them permanently to this, so they don't get forgotten, because I'm sure that the developer would love nothing more than just us to forget about it, and he would
Right.
go on his merry way, so.
Are they using that,
Well, what happened, can I interject?
I
What
don't
happened
think they
was,
will.
this is actually Mr. DeLongo's property. And so what happened was, he's involved with the building of the solar farm. So we gave him, he wanted to delay it because they were building the solar farm, and he said, he used that as a reason, as he needed that to bring materials back and forth, because they didn't want to drive around up Mill Road, up
That's
to
right, yes.
Forest Road and in. And so we said yes. But there's been, now that project was done, it's been in the paper that it's done. It was done for a while, so he has no reason or no excuse now for this coming June, because I think it says he has to remove them between June and September,
Right.
for those to be removed. And our fear is, if we don't stay on top of this through you, to make sure that in April and May, you start talking to them to get it out of there, it's never gonna get out of there. And Deep was involved in this too. It's not us also, it's Deep, because those were illegally installed in the Farm River.
And they approve or support getting them out of there, restoring that, the stream bed to its natural, original natural.
And there's also some rare trout, there's some trout
And-
species.
And they built a fish ladder, and it was approved by the state as well, so that all is to be restored.
In the dam just downstream of where
At the
these are.
Mill Pond.
Yes.
Mill Pond, right, yes.
is there a fish ladder there?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is the Andromedus trout that.
Right.
It's a very unique strain that's native that,
And you can fish for them all year round, but it's really hard to find.
yes, they don't like, yeah, they are, but it's good that,
I mean, it is in the Farm River study, the watershed study that was done recently. It's mentioned that maybe it's better to leave them there than to take them out, just in terms of what's your plan once you take them out? Are you gonna rock the banks, or, I mean, we need a plan. We can't just say,
well, if you, again, we had the fortune of doing many sidewalks there and seeing them. It's not like it's a huge earthen structure. I know what you're thinking, if it was covered with dirt and everything, you pulled them out, you'd add all that silt, but they're really just sitting there. There's really not much, if I recollect, not
And
much
when
on
the
top.
river floods, it goes around them
Right.
too.
And it actually creates more silting and, and again, it disrupts the stream bed, which again, fish, the trout and everything, it's not good to
We
have
talked
silt
about-
dumped in there.
whether we might need some sort of coffer dam to take one out and put another one in, or, I mean, there
He
needs
was,
to be.
he was supposed to
He
provide
was
us a
Right.
supposed- You're
plan.
exactly right. Right, when he was gonna do it, he was supposed to come and just give us a basic plan that, we all agreed upon.
Right.
We have not seen that plan.
And can I ask a question? You said it's in the Farm River study to leave them in, because I was involved in that.
It's not.
I don't
Well,
recall
I think
that.
it sort of said that, if you're gonna take them out, be careful. Maybe it's better to leave them there.
Well, no,
It's
that,
actually stopping the natural flow of the river.
that would need to come before us again, because we already, this commission with Deep agreed that those would be taken out. Mr. DeLongo also agreed that they would be taken out.
So, right, and he hasn't disagreed at this point. I think it
No.
just has come to the point where we did make notice of the timeline when it's recommended that they get removed June through whatever was September or
Right.
August.
And-
And I think, even a little later into the season, past June would probably be a good
Fine.
idea.
Yeah.
When we can hopefully get a low flow on the water course.
That's
And
exactly
then
what we hope.
to David's point, a construction sequence from the applicant, which I could work with them on that too,
Yeah.
because I think it might be in everyone's, best interest to route the water through one of the pipes and work on.
Right, have a
know,
plan,
Yeah.
like I agree with you and David, we just didn't
And
want to
make
come
a-
over the crane,
a
just dragging them out of there and creating
Right.
more issues,
Keep the
but,
silts down, make a diversion through one pipe,
Yep.
take one pipe out, restore
Do
the
it
bank on
carefully.
that side, and then let the water through, so we could.
to do,
Yeah.
we
Work
want
through
to
that.
get them out of there with minimal, intrusion
right.
in the channel of that part of the Farm River, because again, it's.
Exactly right. And again, this has gone on like 3-4 years, and we gave him permission to keep, maybe more, we gave him permission to keep them there because they were building the solar farm.
Right, exactly.
And now I think it's only appropriate, that's done, they should be removed.
Right, and when I talked to Mr. DeLongo about this, and when I brought up the timeline from June through September, he said that he said he was ready, well, that'll be the next thing that he does, and I said, well, hold on, let's get to June and let's get to a dry season where
Right.
we can do this, so he was, willing to,
So
still
he is
willing.
willing. When'd you talk to him, Victor, recently?
Well, before I brought up the
did?
timeline
Oh,
to
okay.
you folks, so
Oh,
a
right,
couple,
right.
over
Well, that's
a
good.
month ago, yeah.
That's good. That sounds like then it's just simple as getting together, get a plan, get some,
But does he
something
have a
you
plan?
guys approve that looks like a reasonable way to get them out without damaging, again,
Right,
without
right.
causing more damage there. I mean, that's a win-win if we can do that this year.
Yeah, and he was agreeable when we did this. I mean,
Mhm.
it wasn't that he wasn't agreeable. It was just that we
Right,
don't want it
right.
forgotten about.
And that's the point of keeping it on the agenda. so
Right.
Right. Basically
I think
until it's
as long as we have
resolved.
David up to speed on it
Yeah.
and I can keep in touch with Mr. DeLongo, we'll try not to surprise him on April 15th with when are you taking these out, we'll work with him ahead of
Right.
time.
Right, so we can start
To
thinking
come up
of and
with some
coming up with
kind
a
of
plan. That way, because you don't want to be rushed either, you have a
Yeah,
million
right,
other
right.
things to do. It'd be nice if you could come in and start the process. There's a couple probably good ways to do it, and you come together, pick the best one, and,
Make sure there's not a hurricane coming before we do it
Right.
and all the above, so.
Yeah, and no disrespect to anyone, you're our, third town planner in a year and a half? So that's one of the other reasons why we need this on here, so it's not forgotten about.
Yep.
All right, then that sounds like a plan. Well, all right, then I guess we can move on to item C, which is a review of the updated standard conditions.
No, where are they? I have them
You
here.
have them together.
I think we did talk a little
I
about
thought
the
we
last meeting, right?
did
We
talk
kind of-
about it.
Mhm.
And I think for most, I'm just fresh, we were pretty much in agreement with it, with everything. Everything seemed to be in place. What do you guys think? I'm just trying to,
I thought so, we were too. I think we had to wait to this meeting to approve it, wasn't that?
I think we're gonna,
because there was a 15-day, right, all right, so we've kind of already approved it, right? Technically.
well,
I mean-
I don't know if we need to if you need to get a motion to approve it, or is it something that would need a motion, or is it just new standard conditions?
Might as
Well,
well make a motion.
yeah, because
I think
we
it's
did
always-
say to vote
yeah.
on it, so.
Yeah.
We like to have a motion in place, just because if anyone ever questions, we discussed it, and a motion assumes that we, are in favor of it, so. I don't, know if we need any other discussion, I think we're all happy with them. You feel that way, Jerry?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Good.
And you didn't have
That's
any
good,
changes
yeah.
from? No, okay. You want to run it?
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the new standard conditions. I don't know if there's a date on it, but to approve the new standard conditions.
Okay. We have a
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, let's move on to item D. It looks like we have a shed approval at 483 Tucker Road.
That was approved back in
Right.
October.
So I guess, sorry if maybe I'm dropping the ball on a few of these with the transfer over, but, so the shed was approved by this commission, and I forget what the question was. I was probably supposed to follow up with something.
Is this the one where she came back and wanted to move it after our approval? This is
No,
not-
this
different.
is
43.
the same
Trying to
property,
remember.
this is the same property where, so
It's
where
one of
the,
the lots there, yeah.
where the culverts are.
The
So
new,
this-
Oh, right,
the
right,
new
right.
So
development.
this is,
Yes,
so where the
yes.
culverts are, it's on the right, it's the smaller piece of property and it's right next to it.
They dropped it way in the back
And-
of the property.
But none of us here recall anyone coming here in October for a shed approval.
So,
That's what the issue is. So we don't remember it.
so let me go back into let us go back into the minutes.
Maybe
See if
research
it,
it, see
I'm
if
not,
it
I'm
got
not
it.
saying they did or didn't, but see if we can pull up minutes on it. That was probably my assignment that I didn't do.
Because, I mean, my
And
concern
then
is,
if not, we've got to look to see, I think it's past the timing when Eric would have done a administrative approval.
Right.
So that's why I'm curious I wouldn't have, obviously, so.
right. I mean, what
Trying
we
to
just
find
want to
the-
know is if it did get approved or something, we just need to know. And if it didn't, we might have to, I don't want to
Yeah.
call someone in and charge them twice for the same.
No,
you know,
so yeah, let me do,
Maybe
and
the
I may have
research.
done the minutes
I thought
check.
I thought I had it here.
I may have actually done the exercise, I just don't remember, it's been a
That's
a
okay.
crazy month.
How about, no, why don't you do some research on it? And it's nothing earth-shattering right this moment, but maybe you can find some information one way or another for the next meeting, if everyone's okay
Yeah.
with that.
So that's really what it was. What it was it an administrative approval, or did it come through a meeting? And if it came through a meeting, let's pull the minutes from the meeting and we'll see.
But either way, it should be some documentation, because even with administrative
Yeah.
approval, there's still,
There is an application.
oh, okay.
And I bet you Ashley made the motion to approve them.
It was probably
Thanks.
her. I mean,
Throw me under the bus there, Vic. Okay.
I honestly don't remember it.
I know, but that's all right. If you could.
I don't remember either.
It seemed like there were a bunch of sheds in a row back then too.
Exactly,
So
and
maybe one was a blur, or
Well-
let us just do the
Do the
the
due
minutes
diligence.
check and we'll go from there.
And we'll clean
So
it up.
here's the
Did I actually do
minutes
it?
from September 28th,
Maybe I did do it.
2022, 483 Chitoka Road site plan. The property is closer to Mill Road and there are 2 additional houses. No excavation will be performed. Site plan application placement of so it's got the regular conditions. And then it says second Pregano with all in favor of the motion passed.
But it says it's for a shed?
Yeah.
Honestly, don't remember it.
Who made
Must have seen it with-
who made the motion?
Doesn't show who made the motion.
Oh,
I
boy.
pressed say who made the motion.
I know it wouldn't be me, because I wouldn't be allowed, so it had to.
Fishbach.
Interesting.
Jerry.
Jerry,
Jerry,
you made the motion.
Okay, then that's
Application
done.
2022-14.
well, Jerry made the motion, and Frank.
I don't remember it at all.
It's sad, but we forgot a lot of stuff, so I won't
All right.
even joke about it, but it sounds like it was.
Getting old.
That's right. But at the time, you were lucid, and you made a motion and seconded it, so, well,
I did, I mean, if it's any consolation, I did take a look at it. It's still within the maintained lawn area that they had
okay.
already developed.
Maybe that's why we
anyway, so
approved it, because it didn't seem like there was
It
any,
didn't seem like there was.
Was I there at that meeting?
And they do have the large, I mean, the boulders are huge that
yeah.
demarc that was the version of
Yeah,
the
that's good.
wetlands buffer signs, the
Right,
boulders. and
right,
stuff.
you did see
And
those,
it's,
so.
it's outside of the buffer area from where those
You mean it's,
boulders are, so.
okay.
Closer, to right, between the boulders and the house is what you're saying, not
exactly, yeah.
not out in the woods or whatever. Gotcha. All right, well, I guess, I don't know.
It's signed by you, Steve.
Of course
Okay,
it
well,
is.
then I'm complicit in this too, so let's just move on
Dave, what
then.
was the
I'm the
date
only
of
one
the
not
meeting, the
mentioned.
28th, did you say? 9/28?
September 20th.
9/28.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, well, then I guess
So let that go.
let it go, it's approved, it's good.
Yep, that one could come off the agenda.
All right, so let's move to item E, which is discussion regarding publication of homeowner's guide to wetlands and buffers. Which is a great article, by the way, we should get it published, because it really is, it's maybe a little long, but,
No, you know what? I don't think it is. And I think people like reading this type of stuff.
no, I'm just saying, some people might write, but I agree, no, I like it the way it is. I would,
Well, my concern with it is that it doesn't address the issues that we had tonight with the 2 properties and what we've had in the past. It doesn't spell out that the state of Connecticut enact this inland wetlands law went into effect in 1972, almost 51 years ago. And we're going to continue to have people come in here like we had tonight and the other fella, where they believe they can do whatever they want, it's their property. And I think this document needs to address the law, and the history of the law.
I think you're right. I think that actually, as I read it, that should go right at the beginning, like under home, right to start, say, just as a historical,
Yeah, there should be some
preface or
history
prelude
to it.
of the inland wetlands in North Branford. Just like exactly what you
Yeah.
said. As a matter of fact, Frank, could you like type that out? And say, because if we could just add that to this, I think it would be a perfect document.
In addition to putting that in the beginning, I think that it should be said in the end that if, just because something may not be addressed, if you are living within 100 feet of the wetlands and you're not sure as to whether an activity you want to perform is regulated or not, it would be wise to come and talk to us before doing something.
Right.
Well, that says it under regulations.
That would be a good way, I think, to end this. To let them know that this is not a 100% complete documentation of all regulations and purpose of the wetland regulations.
And Jerry, that's something that we said quite often when we've had people come in with, who weren't sure, did things they weren't sure. We tell them that same thing all the time, that if you're ever in doubt of anything, please call us first before we get to, a more serious violation, so.
I mean, the issue that we have, and I think our town is not unique, is people are not aware of the law. Pure and simple. We've run into that countless times already. I can't keep track of how many times. And, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Frank.
No, I mean, it's just that we need to do more than just this document. I think we have to do something, once we do this, maybe work with Frank Mentone and put it in the Tutucket Times.
That's no longer being sent out. It's going to have to go into the Sound.
Okay.
Oh, he's not going to send them out anymore? Oh, I didn't know that.
Besides that, Frank, maybe it could be mandated that this be handed out to any new homeowner, all land transfers, purchases, et cetera, that involve any wetlands whatsoever, that this be part of the package.
Well, that's a good suggestion, is would force people to read their documents.
But I think I agree with it.
But
don't
I think
disagree.
everybody should have a copy
Right,
of it.
But I think it's going to be difficult to have that happen.
Well, the town could actually do it from their point whenever there's a land transfer.
And maybe even put it on the town website.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
there's got to be something done so that we don't get into these contests where, I mean, this is just very uncomfortable to be in contests like this, and this happens all the time because people don't understand that this is a 51-year-old law driven by the federal government. And we just can't keep going through this anymore. We really can't. It's not right.
No matter what we do, we may not get 100% of the people, but if we could at least post it like something of the sound
So-
on the website, if we just need to attack it from a couple of areas. The more people, that we can make it aware of it, I think if it's not 100%, it should be better than it is now, because a lot of people seem not to have a knowledge of a lot of our regulations.
So I hope you guys forgive me, but I took the liberty of talking about this document with an environmental attorney who's a friend of this commission, Greg Sharp.
Oh.
And he has a huge background in the watercourse law. And I asked him if he would work with me to redo this, and he said he would. So if you guys are agreeable.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with that.
We would work, I can't promise anything for the next meeting or so, because I tell you, I'm buried right now, but we'd like to do that.
Absolutely.
Because my understanding, talking to Greg, is, and Donna did this, and she did a fantastic job, Donna's fantastic, but my understanding is that this was taken from something from either the state of Washington or Oregon, and we really need to make it a Connecticut
or
document.
even North Branford.
Even the pictures, I don't think relate to what we have in our inlands necessarily here,
Frank,
so.
if
You
you
need
and
a box
Greg
turtle
want
here.
to do that, that would be
Yeah,
great.
box turtle, okay.
If you would, yeah, it's something that we find it, but if you would do that, I think that'd be great.
Are you guys
Share
okay
with
with
us.
it?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
would definitely.
And come back to us and share, and,
Absolutely.
and then we could tweak it too. if
But then we
involved.
also have to figure out how to send it out. You know how they do the bulk pickup poster every year that they send out? I think this needs to be something that we send out.
That wasn't it? Okay. So it's a second
It
time.
was, but maybe once a year they'll do that, so who knows?
So well, every avenue we could do, whether it be, yeah.
Because we have to educate the people, because we can't have these arguments all the time.
And I'll be honest, if we can get it the sound, it would hit a wider audience, even though it's outside our
Well,
town.
we
but
can
it-
do that.
The laws are the same. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think every town would benefit for something like this if
Sure.
they haven't done it already, so. All right, well, Frank, then you and Greg
If
take
you
a
guys
couple
okay
months.
with it? All
Go
right.
for it, and then
Absolutely.
when you get to a point you have something that you want us to review, just let us know, or submit it to David or Victor, and they could,
All right.
send, or whatever, that'd be
Be
great.
happy to do it.
And I can work with you to try to get it into some sort of format
Sure.
so that it's available,
Sure,
whether it's a
sure.
4-fold or a 3-fold, and get the type
Yeah.
size right, and
Right
That-
now,
well,
I'm
that would
just
be
gonna
great,
focus
yeah.
on,
write up with
Whatever works to get it to the
my
masses.
printing background will.
There you go. See,
perfect,
you're,
perfect.
it's good, you're
Yeah,
jack
because
of all
I'm
trades,
just
that's
gonna
good.
focus on the words, and then,
Yeah.
somebody else can do the,
I can do the pictures and the layout, and, I've made a couple of these
perfect.
brochures.
Oh,
Perfect.
good.
I'll
Then
let
you can-
Greg know.
And we'll take your input too, like when they get the wording done, you can go and.
There's some good ones that the DEP have put out that basically have all the information that you need, and,
There'll be good resources too. like,
yeah,
you know,
there are lots of these.
If it's already been done, there may be some points that you might find.
You
yeah.
can Google them and steal them pretty easily.
Well, I looked, I went online and was looking for them through Connecticut Deep, but if you could email me what you found, because I wasn't that good of a Googler then, because I didn't find those.
I can send you the one I did for Stafford.
Perfect, that'd be great.
Wow, that's great.
Make life easier. Thank you.
It also talks more about storm drains and wetlands. and
Yeah,
It's more sort of ecological than.
Hey,
it is
it's better just to
wetlands.
cover everything, if you're gonna put it in there, it all affects our wetlands, so. that would be-
Low impact design and just sort of all the ecological factors as opposed to less wetlands.
Yeah, no, that's good. And that's something I think more people are tuned to, could understand, make it understand a little better, Good, I think it's a great idea. All right, then, we can move on, I think, to item F, our last item here, which is discussion regarding cutting, trimming under power lines.
So that's me. So I have a request for, there's a set of power lines that runs behind Town Hall from Branford Road
I'll get it.
all the way to Token Road.
oh, I know which one you're talking about, yeah.
Hang on, let me,
The high,
Is that the-
the high
water-
power lines.
That's
Yeah, so
water
here's
company
Town
property,
Hall,
right?
it's like right
Town
here.
Hall. Oh, town, yeah, okay.
okay, so it goes behind it, okay.
Yeah, because there's the school, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the high powered
Yeah.
lines.
So they want to go in and cut the
this is all wet.
vegetation and maintain.
So they can access,
The right
I mean,
of
that's
way.
pretty reasonable, as long as is there any
Oh, so
wetlands or
I didn't
anything
know
that they have to worry about crossing?
These are all their wetlands.
I shouldn't say there are wetlands, as long as there's any areas that would prohibit them from doing that, or,
There are some ponds in the way that obviously they're gonna have to come in from this end and this end, and they can come in from the middle.
They put those wooden roads down, whatever they call them, right?
Yeah.
And they drive on those, right?
And they're gonna be using pretty much low power equipment. They're not digging, they're not excavating, they're not filling, they're just maintaining.
well, it's a necessary thing that has to be done,
It's
I know,
big.
because otherwise they can't get to them if there ever is a big issue, so I guess, yeah, I mean, as long as they do it as,
Thank you. So I was hoping that maybe if I got authorized to do the upland reviews, since they're not doing anything in the wetland, or I can come back with them. They haven't really given me an application. This just came up last week.
Well, like I said, I mean, I'm trying to think historical, it'd be nice if they had just some kind of formal application, you know, just to cover us, you know what I mean? And I think we're in support of it, but just saying, having a little more than just a picture would be nice, so if they can kind of go over some of the things they're gonna do to
I've
the
asked them to do
vegetation,
that
you know what I'm
already.
saying, the machinery, you know, we all kind of know it. I think, is that reasonable, David?
Absolutely.
Okay, that would be good, then, if you could ask them for that, then maybe the next meeting we could go over that, and I don't necessarily think we have to do anything more than that, but at least we'll have a document that we can put on the record that we've talked about and kind of given our tacit approval to that.
And it's
What's his
maintenance,
name's place?
so it's
Right.
not a regulated activity.
Right, right,
Yeah, so I
and
was trying to figure out which.
totally reasonable request, but
Oh, yeah.
like you said, I agree with you.
And it
Nice
was
to have-
nice they asked.
Yeah, yes, they did, they could have just went and did it, you're right, I have to say, that's why you have to give them
But they're
credit.
a
Oh, yeah, that's
utility,
the
so they
river.
know
So this
better.
is
They-
the
right,
crossing
right,
that goes
yes.
right under.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree, whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like I said, if you can get some more information just on some of the.
Okay.
I think we'd be up, you know.
Yeah, we don't
for
want to,
sure,
we don't
so-
want to stop that.
No. All right, then I guess unless David or Victor, you have anything else, we can move to adjournment.
Do you want to appoint me as your agent?
Yes.
Yes, I think we can officially do
So
that.
I make a motion to appoint David as our agent. That's
As our
wetlands authorized agent, is that the
Yes.
right word?
conservation and inland wetlands and water
Conservation.
courses.
Oh, we want the name of the, okay, yeah, conservation inland wetlands.
We want to give him a long title here.
And the last name is Powers?
Perkins,
Perkins.
right?
Perkins, okay. Second,
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
which means, Victor, you're officially not that anymore.
Victor, you had fun. It wasn't so
Before
bad.
we,
Yeah, make a
before we
motion to
adjourn
take
though,
it
I
off.
think we owe,
You're getting happier and happier.
Yes,
Right,
a
yeah.
round of applause.
yes, thank you, Victor.
Yes, thank
Nice
you.
job.
Yes,
We really appreciate what you did.
we
You
did it, yes, to bridge so we could get David in here, so thank you.
Thank you for
Yes,
doing that.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
you're in good hands now. I've already heard enough from him that I know he's speaking the right language on everything, so.
Good,
But don't disappear now.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah, well, if you need me, let me know. I could zoom in with Jerry.
I'm really good at that, you know, you got the, these IT skills come in handy then, Victor. All right, then, we have a move to adjourn?
Jerry, go ahead, it's on you.
Yeah, second that.
No, you have to make the motion.
Oh, I move to adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, meeting adjourned.
See you later,
Thank
Jerry.
Thank you,
Hi,
everyone.
Jerry.